K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we are expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at sales@k98fm.com.
We here at Politainment love to read. Well, except Paul, but, anyway. Thing is, we're all super busy, and rarely is there a moment where we can just sit down for an hour and get caught up on the book we've been wanting to read. Many of us just don't have the time. But what we do have is a smartphone, a tablet, and a subscription to Audible.com. You see, Audible.com gives us the ability to get caught up on the books we want to read, but it's the audio version that in many instances is narrated by the author. So this way we can hear a chapter 2 on the way to work, while cutting the grass, or while in the bathroom. Hey, don't act like you don't do that too. And Audible is part of Amazon, so there are hundreds of thousands of books to choose from. If we just described you, a person who loves to read and just doesn't have the time, then we want to hook you up. Go to audibletrial.com/Politainment and you get a free month trial, and that includes one free book. Yes, even new releases, for free. You get a 30-day free trial with no strings attached, and at the same time, you help out your friends at Politainment. Go to audibletrial.com/Politainment. Get your books on the go by going to audibletrial.com/Politainment today. Thanks.
One shot, baby, there you go again. 2 shots and I think you know again. 3 shots come, you might find your daddy gone. 1 shot, baby, there you go again. 2 shots and I think you know again. 3 shots come, you might.
Well, I can hear you. I don't know if they can. 1 second. They should be able to hear you now. Try it again.
Can you hear me now? Beg you.
Because I've got you on all monitors now, so they should be able to hear you. I missed another switch.
They can hear us, but I'm echoing so bad that I can't talk.
Hang on, I'll clear it up. 1 sec.
Thanks. Hello out there. Oh, that's weird.
Is it still echoing?
Hello? Yep, big time. Testing? You got me? I see you, Daniel. Can you hear me? And you don't hear the echo. Do you hear me now?
I'm starting to feel like we're in a Verizon commercial.
I really do. I feel like we're in a commercial. Hey, yay, they're saying, yeah, good, we got you now. Nope, yep. No echo, and can you hear me? just barely. So they can't really hear me very well, but they can hear me. And no echo? Yes, you guys are part of the show now. Oh, there's the echo. Do you hear the echo?
Are you echoing again?
I was, yeah. They're saying they can barely hear me and no echo. Yes, we can hear you. We'll have to cut all this stuff out so I sound professional later, right?
Of course, we always cut out the technical issues as much as we can. Of course, I couldn't do much for last week.
Is in my mind. Thanks, Donna. Okay, fine. Since you guys are sitting there listening to me make a fool of myself, we might as well get started. As long as you can hear me, I can deal with the echo. I feel a little schizophrenic, but you know what? That's nothing new. And welcome to the show. Y'all are great. You're basically the opening of my show tonight, is all of you telling me that you can hear me. Oh, hallelujah, you can hear me. And it is Thursday. Well, no, it is not. You know what? I think I should just go home because it's Wednesday. You know, it's the whole hippie thing online. I put on the glasses and I put on the daisies and the brain went away. It's Wednesday, it's Earth Day. And wow, what a blow up on the Bunny Show. Welcome to the show. You know, I was just complaining earlier that I wasn't prepared because I was really busy and I just didn't get everything done I wanted to get done for the show. And I was joking that we should cancel it because I just wasn't ready to go. And I think the Lord was agreeing with me that I shouldn't do this tonight. But here we are, and we're going to push through because that's what we do as conservative radio type people online. Thank you all for waiting for me out in the chat room and for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. You all are really funny out there telling me you don't hear the echo. And I do, but we'll just deal with it. You know, and I actually, the thing I did prepare was my little spiel on Earth Day. Because, you know, it's an interesting holiday. I guess it's a holiday. Google made a little cartoon for it, you know, and they don't typically do that for like Veterans Day or any of those good things, do they? So I'm going to assume it's a holiday. And it's a holiday founded by a man who apparently killed and chopped up his girlfriend. Now, I made it much funnier. I said that he mulched her because, you know, it's Earth Day and all that good stuff. But no, I was corrected by several of you today saying, no, he chopped her up. Chopped her up and hid her body that way. His name, what was it? Ira Einhorn. Killed his girlfriend. We're celebrating a day founded by a murderer who is celebrating the Earth, which is really kind of an interesting dynamic if you think about it. And what's even funnier to me is the climate change cultists use today as a day to remind us that we're gonna die. And the Earth's gonna end, and climate is gonna destroy us all because we drive big trucks or what other nonsense they can come up with. And of course, I like the talking point. 98% of scientists say it's real. And then you say, who are these scientists? And lo and behold, they're all scientists getting grant money from the feds. Yeah, 1,200 scientists, I think, is what they're pulling that from. I think there's more than 1,200 scientists in the whole world, but call me crazy, what do I know, right? But this is a holiday where we celebrate the Earth. Yeah, we celebrate Earth, and we get in touch with the Earth. And, you know, I did see some folks out there, Rebexy, who is another conservative, who was saying that really we shouldn't let the left own Earth Day. That Earth Day should be about celebrating our home planet and about the beauty of Earth, and why should we let the left use it for agenda and use it for something that they can push on us and bitch about. And I liked that. I liked her idea. I liked her sentiment. And she was sending up pictures of beautiful locations and asking people to send her locations. And I thought that was kind of cool because we really have given up the notion of all of these touchy-feely things to the left. And, you know, I know a lot of conservatives care about the Earth. I care about the Earth. I've been recycling and upcycling since college. And not because someone told me I was supposed to, but because it made sense to me that I should do that. Less waste, less trash, right? But now if I say I like doing it, I'm some damn greenie going along with some stupid agenda because they've taken over that piece of it again. It's like the whole gay marriage thing. They think they own it. There are plenty of conservatives who support gay marriage, but now the left's like, oh, we're the champions of the gays. They were really ruining the things that matter to us. And, we get to own guns and war. And that's fine. I like guns and war. But they're taking away our ability to be well-rounded, because plenty of us will shoot a gun and recycle in the same day. That's just who we are as individuals. So I have a beef with Earth Day. Beyond the fact that the founder, Ira, killed his chick and mulched her, I had someone say, I said, well, they mulched her. And they're like, well, at least he didn't waste her. And I couldn't tell if they were being serious or not. But I did laugh. I thought that was really a really funny sentiment. At least we didn't waste her dead body and we mulched her and used her to grow things. He gave her to the earth, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's one of my big sticking points with a lot of these things is I feel like I don't get to believe in or promote those things because the left has commandeered them. And I'm tired of that. So when Rebexy said, we need to talk about the beauty of the earth, I was like, well, that's pretty freaking cool. And I agree. But she took a lot of flack for that. And there shouldn't be a lot of flack for that. There are plenty of us granola, greeny, crunchy types on the right, those of us who recycle and wear hemp pants. And, we are out there, the crunchy granolas, who are conservatives. And I think Earth Day should be a reminder of that versus us just giving it away to the left and letting them own it with climate change and doomsday and Al Gore and other nonsense. So happy Earth Day. I'm sorry we started late. I do have the top 10 douchebags of the week, and I'm going to try and get through them very quickly because I don't want to make my guest wait like I made Josh wait before. So I'm going to let Jared come on when he's supposed to, and I'm going to go through this week's top 10 douchebags really quickly. For those of you who are first-time listeners, welcome to this show. We don't always have technical difficulties, but if we do, we laugh and make fun of ourselves and move on. Also, top 10 douchebags come from the good people in social media. We do not make these up. You people nominate them for us, and we mock them with you on the show. So on that note, we'll get started with number 10. Blogger Belle Gibson, who made hundreds of thousands from a cancer struggle story, and she admits she made it up. Okay, now I've never heard the story. I've never heard of Belle Gibson before, but when I got this nomination, I went and looked at her. And she's admitted she lied, but she made hundreds of thousands of dollars telling people she had cancer. And she was also, this is the part that really pissed me off, she was giving people who actually have cancer suggestions on how to deal with cancer and maybe beat cancer. She was giving them solutions and ways of dealing with being sick, and she wasn't even sick. I think that's bigger than a douchebag, to be honest with you, but we'll go ahead and leave her on the top 10 this week because I don't know what else I could call her besides an evil bitch, but she is a douchebag at number 10. At number 9 is Bill Nye the Science Guy. Oh, Bill Nye, I get it. You're feeling important because the president has treated you like you matter. Most of us remember you from when we were kids or in junior high doing science-y things. No one takes you that seriously, and now you have someone who does. And we get it. You're very excited. You're going to get on Air Force One today and act on climate change. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You're going to act on climate change in the president's private plane that burns 5 gallons of gas per mile, let alone the amount of carbon pollutants you put in the air flying that plane to take action on climate change. He was bragging about this on Twitter. He was talking about how awesome it was going to be to get on the plane with the president and fight climate change. And he didn't see the irony in his tweet at all. And for that, Bill Nye, you are a douchebag at number 9. At number 8 is John Kerry. For his Earth Day preaching, do as I say, not as I do, bullcrap. That is word for word. I would like to tell this person who nominated John Kerry that he is a Democrat, and that is their bread and butter. That is all they know. That is all they do. Do as I say, not as I do. John Kerry is a douchebag at number 8. At number 7, I didn't see this happen, but I thought this was funny. The tough as nails Donald Trump, who tried to form a Twitter outrage mob against Stephen Hayes for calling him a clown. It's Twitter, Donald. Toughen up, man. This happens. Plenty of us get beaten up. Plenty of us are called all kinds of things way worse than a clown. Deal with it, Donald. Come on. And you're a douchebag. Number 7. Number 6 is Joss Whedon. Like, apparently Joss doesn't like people who don't believe in climate change and who question the science, quotation, behind climate change. Joss tweeted out that policymakers who deny basic scientific truth, that's funny, should also be denied penicillin and horseless carriages. You know, I get he's being funny, that we deny the whole truth behind climate change, so we shouldn't believe in the science behind penicillin or the car. Oh, he's so clever. Here's the thing, though. No one has said the climate doesn't change. We understand the climate changes, but no one really believes that man has the power to do that. Sorry, Joss. That makes you a douchebag at number 6. Number 5 is author Toni Morrison, who once referred to Bill Clinton as the first black president. Yeah, she really said that. But she also said that she said racism will not be over until cops shoot a white, unarmed teenager in the back. That makes a lot of sense, don't you think? Racism won't go away until we start killing white kids. And I don't understand why the music just played or why she thinks that makes sense with racism, but that makes her a douchebag at number 5. Number 4 is NARAL, N-A-R-A-L. I may be pronouncing that wrong, but they are a pro-choice organization. They were on Twitter looking for women to share their positive stories about their abortions to do away with the stigma surrounding abortion. So what they were trying to do, they're trying to make abortion not so down, guys. Abortion is such a downer, and there's such a stigma around slaughtering unborn babies. We need your stories to destigmatize the whole thing. Hey, ladies, we know you've had an abortion. Give us your story and make it a positive thing. Holy shit, who are these people? It drives me away. So they totally tweet out, hey, we're looking for these positive stories, man. And people are like, why would you want to talk about positive shit? You're killing babies. Unbelievable how these people think. And they are douchebags at number 4. Number 3 are tax evaders. There's more than one. We talk about Al Sharpton all the time. I have a list now. Al Sharpton, Melissa Harris Perry, Joanne Reed, and Teray are all apparently owe a lot of money to the federal government. You know, if a lot of us, little people, own that kind of money to the government, we'd be in jail. But they're just douchebags at number 3. At number 2 is Hillary Clinton. And when I asked for a reason, they just said because she's Hillary Clinton. And I think we can leave it at that. She is the ultimate douchebag. And at number 1 is Obama for hopping on his private plane that burns 5 gallons of gas per mile to take action with Bill Nye on climate change. I can't help but wonder if the action he is taking is to make sure he plays his part in changing the climate with the 193,000 pounds of carbon his round-trip flight to make a speech creates. Yeah, he was just going to make a speech. Somehow that's taking action against climate change. That and his nonsense bullshit about how he yanked the country out of a recession. Yeah, he yanked us out of a recession. The man is a Zoom dweeby, and he is a douchebag at number 1. Now, I'm seeing a note here from the producer, and hey, you know what? I got through my douchebag list really quickly. Go, Sam. I'm wondering, Jared, are you on the line?
I'm here.
Are you there? Oh my God, it worked.
I'm here.
Broke this time. How are you?
I'm good. Don't jinx it, though.
You know what? It has been one of those nights. It's been one of those days, man. And at this point, if I jinx it, I'm just done. You can take over and do the rest of the show. You just have to act like me for the next 30 minutes. Can you do that?
I didn't prepare all that much material, but I'll give it a shot.
Okay, so you've heard it here live, folks. This is Jared Cagle. Am I saying the last name right?
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
Cagle.
So if something happens to me and for whatever reason you can't hear me or I start echoing worse, I'm going to turn it over and Jared can be the bunny for the rest of the show. There's no pressure there, huh, Jared?
No. I'll just keep talking. So I'm pretty good at doing that. So we'll make it through one way or the other.
You know, this is professional radio, man. This is how it works. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you, Bunny?
You know, I
Other
need a
than
beer,
the
but I'm doing
minor
good. And I
technical
can't say that.
difficulties.
I'm going to say I need a beer out loud, and someone is going to tell me online that I'm some alcoholic, evil mom because I said I wanted a beer on my show. But, you know, it's been one of those days, man.
Well, women can't drink beer. It's a faux pas in society. I mean, they would shame you. They would shame you beyond remorse if you had a beer, especially if you told someone you had a beer.
Well, you know what? The thing that a lot of them do on social media especially is if a woman who may be a mother ever talks about being a human being and wanting a glass of wine, we're a bad mother. And of course, we're on Twitter too much or we're on social media, so we're bad mothers as well. So I've got that going against me too, man. I might as well just have a beer.
Well, hey, look at it on the bright side, Sam. At least you're not a man, because they talk about women if they do something bad, like have a beer, but you can't do anything right as a man. The patriarchy, man, they'll shut us down.
The patriarchy. You know what? You have a good point. Although, it must be really hard to be a man. But here's the thing I noticed, Jared, is men in social media, and maybe I'm just missing this, men don't get abused like the women do. But maybe I'm missing it wrong. Maybe you get abused by a different type of person. Maybe it's the feminists calling you the patriarchy.
Yeah. Me personally, I haven't had to deal with it much, but it's funny you bring that up because I've noticed our friends, the liberals, they're all about, the war on women, and there's a war on women, and we should be nice to women, and women don't have enough rights, and blah, 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 blah. But they're the first ones to jump on women when women do something that doesn't fit the norm they're trying to construct. So I do find that odd that the people who, the tolerant liberals that we keep hearing about are actually the most intolerant of all people.
Well, but that's always been kind of their shtick, As long as you agree with them, as long as you feed into that agenda and are willing to play your part as they see fit, they will jump in front of a moving vehicle for you. But the moment you're any different than they want you to be, you are the enemy and must be destroyed.
It doesn't really matter what they say either. Just one person of sort of, dominance or power, like a Hillary Clinton or a Elizabeth Warren, they just have to say it. Liberals don't really do what I like to call research on things. They just kind of get behind stuff and they say, yeah, that feels good. I like it. Let's do this. And then someone says, well, hey, that doesn't really make sense. Have you really thought about this? And they completely dismiss it because don't mess with our emotions, man.
Well, it's all about emotions, and what's really interesting is, especially with the climate change argument, it's all because science. And I'm like, well, babies are alive at conception because science. And then they call me a bitch and threaten to kill me. Their science is very much, and just like their research, it is very much whatever works for them at the moment in the debate. And that drives me nuts. Yeah,
absolutely. The whole climate change works out great, too, because as you mentioned earlier, a lot of that is done by EPA funded or government funded, that they pay these guys to pretty much say what they want. And the ones that don't say what they want, who would want to give up that grant money, right? This climate change and global warming exists. Well, hell yeah, it does until you quit paying us,
With Fed money, there's always a string, man. It's like, temperatures are going up. How much is that grant again? How many thousands of dollars are you giving us? And
it's like the people who got stuck in the Arctic and the icebergs that wasn't supposed to be there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
are you there?
It's just that their hypocrisy is amazing.
Can you hear me, Jared?
Yes, I can.
Oh, thank God. I thought I lost you. Okay,
can you hear me?
The rest of the show. Sorry, I heard you cut out a little bit. We talked earlier because I saw you doing your research, and thank you for being more prepared than I am. I saw in your notes that we had censorship down, and I know I want to talk about Earth Day, but it's been an interesting day in social media with a certain account that is a well-known conservative account that is a pro-Second Amendment and fights against those gun control fanatics we run into. And that account is Kent Atwater. Are you familiar now with what's going on there?
Absolutely. I followed Kent. Kent was actually one of my probably first followers when I first got my Twitter. So I'm very familiar with Kent and what he does. And there's not too many people. Obviously there's you and there's a couple, but there's not too many people on Twitter out there that can make an argument like Kent Atwater. He's very precise, and he's very yes.
No way. There is, I am good at 1, 2, 3 punch and they're out. I am not somebody like Kent who can actually debate for days. If you look at his timeline before Twitter suspended him, it didn't matter what they came back with. He didn't get angry. He didn't lose his cool, and it was always about facts. I don't have that ability. I get too pissed off too fast. It's 1-2 punch, they're done. He could really do that.
I'm the
Go ahead.
same way. I think we get caught up in that, and it's remarkable how he keeps his cool. Because I read a lot of them, and some of them I've even chimed in on, and I'm not near as nice as he is, which is kind of funny because since we're talking about him, his account he's been banned now, and I've said much worse things than he has, and here I am still kicking. So
here's the thing with, I think, what's going on is Kent is proving people wrong. And it's beyond just being, oh, Sam is so mean because she called me this and she said to fuck off. That's kind of what I get. Kent is really proving people wrong in the gun debate. And so they are targeting him and silencing him. And Twitter's helping them do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely it is. And he's the main example because, like I said, he's kind of been, if you're a Second Amendment person, and I am a big Second Amendment person,
Sure.
If you didn't follow Ken Atwater or know what, he was about, but that's just, he was one of the dominant Second Amendment people on Twitter. And it's a big hit when someone like that, because of the trolls and because of the false reporting, that, that account has to get banned or something like that. It doesn't make any sense in it, but it's a big hit for the Second Amendment cause.
Well, and I have to be honest that this, we always joke about NSA getting us, or, and I see people always talking about, well, Twitter has a bias, and that's something we kind of have come to accept. But, with the filter thing that was going on, you saw what we were working on, the strange filter that was flagging accounts, and suddenly they couldn't reply to people they didn't know. This is all beginning to make me really nervous. And what do you think is going on?
Well, I think it's just more of you have a, and it's probably actually not that very many people, or where the issue where you had to deactivate there's probably, a handful of people that just have some access that are doing this to people. They're getting a bunch of people to report, or they're getting a bunch. That's what it looks like to me, because certain things that they just don't add up. And why, like, for example, Kent, read through, well, you can't now, but read through any of that. Nothing he ever said I would find, and even if I was arguing against him, I would never find it even offensive. He was very poignant. He made his points. He didn't harass anybody.
No, he really didn't. And he's always, if you've ever been in a debate with him, he's somebody who keeps very calm. I know if you've been in a debate with me, if you've ever had to deal with me, I am not calm. I get very crabby very quickly. And, that probably works against me in some situations. But if Kent is getting shut down and Kent is keeping his cool and not being disrespectful, how long until accounts like mine or Jalen, GOP Mommy, or you, people who are really out there, shaking up the Twitter sphere, how long until our accounts are gone if that's what they're doing with someone as low-key as Kent?
Well, and it's completely one-sided, too. Either that, or I'm not hearing about anything from the other side about any of the big liberal, getting shut down.
Here's an interesting side note to that. When people were getting flagged, Evil Bun Bun, who is a friend, actually, and he's also, I would call him an anon, he was helping me gather handles of people who were getting flagged so we could maybe find out if there were some guidelines or why they were flagging people. And we weren't seeing any on the left being flagged. Well, somebody got really smart on the other side. I won't mention her name because she got very bent out of shape. But she got very upset with us because we included the handles of some people on the left who'd been flagged. And she accused us of using it as propaganda. We really were just trying to figure out why people were getting flagged, because we don't want anybody to be censored. Even if we think you suck balls on the left, we think you should be able to do that out loud. That's your right. Well, we got accused of using them for propaganda. So how do we win in that argument? How can we really fight for people's First Amendment rights if they don't want us to?
Right, and I think a lot of it, I'd really like to see who's running the show at Twitter, too, who the dude is or whoever that looks at I'm sure they've got a crack team, too, that looks at all these and says, okay, that's abuse, that's not abuse, maybe this is abuse, because I've had people tweet at me before that, I would have had arrested, but, they're still out there, hashtags, never mind offensive, just downright threatening sometimes, but, it's all okay because they fall under a different narrative. And the main thing that it keeps coming back to is that it's not conservative. If it's liberal, say anything you want, nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares because, hey, that's your right. But now when conservatives want to speak out, that's where you start to see the limit to free speech. Liberals want to limit speech because if you control speech, you control thought.
Yep. And they've controlled the dialogue for a long time. I am the first to admit that the right has not done a very good job over the years in connecting people and controlling a dialogue. We've become reactive to everything. And part of that goes back to W, and W just getting attacked, and we were always defending W. Even if we didn't agree with his policies, we would defend him as our president. We got into that reactive mode, and now it's like, we have to learn how to take back control of the message and be proactive versus reactive. And I think that's what's happening with accounts like Kent and accounts like yours and even like mine. We're the grunts, we punch and fight. But I think we're making that change, and I think that's why people are getting shut down.
Well, and that's also another reason too why I want to say everybody, out there listening or on Twitter or anything, bad things are going to happen. You may get shut down. You may get flagged for something, but don't be quiet. You be loud. The main thing right now that conservatives need more than anything is to be loud and let their voices be heard. We're going to take some hits. We're going to take some punches. It's inevitable because they don't want us to do what we want to do. So we just have to keep pressing at it, and we have to be loud and let our message be heard.
Well, and I think part of it is, and I always say this, and I'm sure I get bitched about for it, but I really feel like the left's bread and butter are uninformed, ignorant people. They are people who see a message. If I didn't know any better and someone said something about, Republicans are trying to keep women from making choices about their lives, and I'm uninformed, I'm like, well, the hell with those people, I'm voting for a Democrat. That's what they need. And then when we come in and say, actually, women should have choice about their bodies and about their lives, and the government's just not going to pay for you to kill babies anymore. Oh, wow, that makes sense suddenly. But they don't want us to have that discussion, so they're shutting us down before we can. And Kent is a great example about the gun. The gun argument is huge. They are on that gun sense tag all the time, talking about dead babies and dead kids, and they exploit these families who are losing children to gun accidents, and Kent shuts them down, and what happens to Kent? He gets shut down. Is it
absolutely? And the funny thing is, well, it's not funny; it's deplorable. But an account like Ken will get banned and shut. They'll get shut down. But another a group like Everytown or Moms Demand, a lot of their statistics that they throw out are completely fabricated. They're not telling the truth, or they're not telling the whole truth. Kent was a person who he stuck with facts, and there was nothing that, else about it. It was facts, and facts were facts. But you have other groups that, basically it's okay to lie as long as you can still press that agenda, and you gauge that emotional response, and everybody says, well, surely they wouldn't lie about that. That must be true. They're a big group. But when somebody else starts flapping their gums, they're like, oh, we can't have that because that's counter to that emotional response.
Well, and I'm looking in the chat, and because I was going to mention GOP mommy, Jalen is a champion against the feminist crazies out there. Jalen is somebody who will really go toe-to-toe with some of the nastiest, ugliest feminist trolls out there. I was going to mention her as a leader because Kent really is a leader in the gun movement, and Jalen is really out there in the feminist movement. And I'm looking in the chat trying to find her, and she mentioned that there is a tag actually on Twitter called Cons Be Gone, and they are actively working to shut conservatives down. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, it fits the narrative lockstep like they are. They don't like what we have to say. They're not interested in listening to that other opinion. They're not interested in listening to somebody else's point of view. They have their point of view, and we'll be damned if you're going to come against us. That's the attitude of the people that we're dealing with. But of course, being that it's an anti-conservative hashtag and Twitter is allowed in Conservativeville, I give it about an hour before we completely take it over.
I That's really
because
funny.
that's what we do.
I'm trolling through the chat, and Donna's like, "We need to take that over right now, right?" And it's really funny because then someone else, SHERRS, her, says they shut Stephen Goddard down too. And Stephen Goddard, as you know, fights against climate change rhetoric, and he also got suspended. So you're seeing some big names fighting these big topics, and they're getting shut down. Maybe the reason they haven't shut me down is because I open my big mouth on all these topics. So I'm like a jack of all trades but zero trades or something. I don't know. I can't believe I still survive. I'm thinking my days are numbered, man.
Well, I'm curious too. Is other than being shut down, how do you know if you've got reported? Because I'm sure some people have reported me. Because I mean, for the most part, I'm fairly low key. I'm a smartass though, and sometimes I say things that well, I know they're downright offensive, but I'm kind of curious how many. I wish there was something that you could look at to see how many times you've been reported by so and so, and because I'm kind of curious to see what my stats are.
Well, I can tell you this. I know that when I first started on Twitter, I really logged in 2009. I hated it because I didn't understand a damn thing that was going on, so I left. And then in 2013, I got tossed in Facebook jail again. Yeah, I'm always getting in trouble, but I got tossed in Facebook jail for 30 days. And so I jumped back onto Twitter, and that's when I kind of got my groove on. But I was suspended 4 times within 2 months, because I didn't understand how to keep from getting suspended. One of the first suspensions was as a result of Senator John McCain complaining about me tweeting him. And I had to remove a tweet I sent to John McCain. Yeah, I know, this is crazy. I had a whole 756 followers, and I was like, I was hot shit back then. And I went in after John McCain, and I got suspended. I got suspended so much that I finally got a letter telling me if I got suspended again, they would permanently ban my account. So I got really smart about it. And of course, the more followers you have, the more reports it takes to get you suspended. But they can do it. And like Todd Kincannon, whether you're a fan or not, Todd had 36,000 followers that got him suspended. So it can be done.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see who's doing it. I would be really curious, because I'm sure I get reported at least 5-6 times a day. I mean, come on. If I'm not doing my job.
I mean, I personally report you myself at least 3. Just depending on what you said. But I mean, and that's on a good day. Sometimes I get mad, and sometimes I've been known to go at least 4 maybe.
My friends are reporting me. That's what kind of an asshole I am. I'm getting reported by conservatives. Actually, you know what? It does happen with conservatives as well. I have plenty who've blocked me. I'm kind of to the point where I don't know where we're going. And I understand that we're getting close to an election. We're getting close to, 2016. People are really intense. I think it's going to get worse, though. What do you think?
Yeah, it's tough to tell because we're so far out right now. I think it's going to start to get better when you start narrowing the field of candidates a little bit, because right now you've got 40,000 candidates on the Republican side. I mean, you might as well. But everybody has their guy. They're a Rand guy, they're a Cruz guy, they're a Rubio guy. What idiot up in New Jersey, Christie, whatever the hell. Yeah, they've got their guy. That's who they want. And if you're a Cruz guy and you talk about a Rand guy, well then you've got a sword fight. At least one thing about the left right now, this will get worse, but with the left, they may not be unified on a candidate, but they're always unified on topics. That's one thing conservatives seem to have a big issue with, and we argue a lot about it, because you have a lot of conservatives that, are pretty far right wing in some areas, but on social issues, there are more, moderate, or some of them are even liberal, which actually, to be honest, I don't necessarily have a problem with. I don't care if you're liberal, just use your fucking head, that's all I want. You can have liberal ideas, you can want to save the planet, you can want to be nice to everybody, create your own little utopia. It's great, go for it, use your own money though, but that's a fantastic idea. But unfortunately, just, it doesn't work that way. But, God bless you for trying and all, but I'm just for the, we've got the opportunity, every man kind of makes it himself. You have the opportunity to do it. What you do is basically up to you. Liberals don't think that way on the most part. They think everything should be handed to them, or you should always agree with them because that's the only way that there is. And if you don't do it this way, then you're wrong. And that's where conservatives run into problems, because we always want to be the liberals, but we can't even agree on certain topics right now that we kind of agree on, if that makes any sense.
It does, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at you when you said liberals think. I got tickled, because they don't think, they feel. But it's a really good point, and I think what we have to work in with conservatives is we're all such individuals, and we all have such ideas that we hold, to be important. And I feel like I'm preaching it, but I always say this. I say if conservatives can just get down to the basics, if we can say we support freedom, liberty, justice, and do no harm, the rest can take care of itself, because honestly, who doesn't want to be free? Who doesn't want to have liberty? I mean, I guess maybe liberals don't want to be free because it is kind of a scary thing. But I think if we can focus on freedom, liberty, justice, and do no harm, we can win. But when we get off on gay marriage and we get wrapped up in something that affects 2% of the country, we're in trouble. We get arguing amongst
the whole
ourselves.
gay marriage thing is... And first of all, let me say this. I have absolutely nothing against gay people. None whatsoever. I have my beliefs. Everybody has their beliefs. That's fine. But is this really an issue? I mean, to me, it's a non-issue. Okay, gay people want to get married. Whether you agree that that's biblically wrong or whether you agree that it's not wrong, who cares? Who cares? Iran is about to get some nuclear bombs that can completely wipe Israel off the face of the planet, and then they're coming for us. But, Jim and John want to get married, so let's make a big issue about it. It's a non-issue to me, but because, again, it draws a lot of an emotional response, it stays in the news.
How about we just say, you marry who you want, it's none of our damn business, as long as it's two consenting adults and I don't got to pay for it. Why do we care? Why is it my
that's
business?
another big
And
thing for me. I don't want to pay for it. Do what you want to, but pay for it yourself.
I get it, they're very passionate about traditional marriage being a certain way, and I respect that, but if it costs us an election, I'm going to go find these people and I'm going to beat them, because at this point, if we lose an election over that issue, we deserve what we get. We deserve whoever they bring in, because we are not working to make the country better. We're just bitching and moaning about what matters to us on that level, that little weird personal level that is none of our damn business. I'm very libertarian, I guess, about that, because, do no harm, none of my business, don't make me pay for it, it's your business. Done.
Well, yeah, and the main thing is you can have your set of beliefs, but you don't have to necessarily interfere. Whether you agree with something being right or wrong, if it's legal,
business.
Then who cares? It doesn't affect you in any way whatsoever. I mean, you got your far righters that are going to argue with me on that to the death, and that's fine.
Yes.
But the truth is, it does not matter. It doesn't matter at all. It is a non-issue.
So what are your issues? What matters to you? What does a candidate need to say to you, Jared, for you to support him or her?
Well, I like girls and long walks on the beach. No, I'm not kidding. I do like that stuff.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Hold on. I got to go back to this, and I know we only have a few minutes left, but I have got to give you a hard time about your groupies.
I know where you're going.
That was some funny shit this morning. I have never, I have had all kinds of people on this show. I have never seen a response like what I received when I said you're going to be on this show. It was very sweet, but I have never had someone go, well, Bunny sucks, but I'll listen to her because you're going to be on anyway. That was what cracked me up the most.
I was pleasantly amused and surprised by the response, to be quite honest.
And please note that I didn't tell her to kiss my ass. I was really nice about it. I'm like, that's cool. You don't have to listen to me. I'm good. But I was like, really? You hate me, but you're going to listen? Because screw you, lady.
I don't really like her show, but since you're on,
her show's stupid.
But hey, as long as they're listening, maybe maybe you'll get a follower and a new listener out of it. So that's all that matters, really.
Well, what kills me is she follows me.
Oh. Boy, this just got awkward.
But please note that I was very nice. But it was really funny, and I think this is a lot about you. I know you're trying to do, you're doing a blog, and you're doing it with Adam. Is that right? You and Adam are working together on it?
Yes, and if you want to know his handle too, that's at AJM9588. Go follow him. He's awesome.
He's awesome. I agree. He's a good fan of the show. He never says, Bunny, you suck, but I'm going to listen anyway. He listens because he likes the show. Bless his heart.
Yes.
You guys are doing a blog, and then you're talking about doing your own, is it a video blog or your own show? What is that?
I'm kind of kicking around the idea. A buddy of mine here in the town that I live in. We talked about maybe doing some, podcasting too. But I was kicking around the idea of doing a video blog, and I did some shooting the last couple of nights and did, really just to work on the editing. We'll see what happens. It's kind of coming together, but I'm still very new at it. But I do have a YouTube channel, and guess what? It's Sir Jared Cagle, so go check that out. There's about 3 videos up right now, but still, they're fun. And me in the rocking chair.
Nice. Well, but here's the thing too: is you could be doing your video blog for I don't know, a year and a half, like I've been doing a radio show, and shit still breaks. So don't worry about it.
Right.
You just
yep,
go with
that's
it.
very true.
And you laugh about it, or if you don't, you just cry about it later. Now, tell people where they can find you on social media.
If you want to get in touch with me on social media, first of all, the blog website is sirjared.com. If you want to find me on Twitter, it's at Sir Jared Cagle. That's how you can find me there. And then, of course, the YouTube channel is Sir Jared Cagle as well. Facebook, I'm on Facebook, but I'm very non-political. You can send me a friend request. I won't guarantee that I'll accept it because it's mostly family and, close friends and whatnot. But it's Jared West Cagle if you want to look for me on Facebook, too.
How do you spell Cagle, just for people who may not know how to spell it?
Cagle.
Awesome. Well, Jared, I have like 2 minutes left, so I'm probably going to shut you down. Is there anything else you want to add before I let you go?
No, I want to thank you for letting me come on, though. I had a blast doing it, and anytime you want me, I'm ready to go.
Well, if I need some groupies, I will definitely have you come on the show. That was so
All right,
funny.
that's fair.
I'm
That's
going
fair.
to teach you about it for
That's
days.
fair.
All right, Jared, thanks for being a good support. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Bunny. See ya.
All right, bye. Oh, boy, that was fun. We didn't take a break. I'm sorry, guys. I had 45 minutes, and I'm not going to eat into my good friend Jason DeWilkins' show this week. So I am going to go ahead and wrap up here soon. Please stick around for his show. It is According to Me with Jason DeWilkins. If you hear any of our really good promos with Polititainment or any of our songs, Jason is oftentimes the voice and some of the creative craziness behind those. So stick around and listen to his show. It's really worth a listen to. I know he's doing Earth Day tonight, and I didn't get to cover Earth Day as much as I want. So stick around and listen to Jason. I appreciate you guys helping me figure things out in the chat. You are such great listeners. You are such a huge part of this show. I think that's why it's so much fun to do. It's not just me talking into a microphone. It's all of you in the chat listening and taking part in everything and making me laugh even when things make me want to cry. So I appreciate you being here tonight. It's been great talking to you again. Happy Earth Day. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will talk to you next week, same time, same bat channel. Take care. Bye-bye.
Non, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien. Ni le bien qu'on m'a fait, ni le mal, tout ça m'est bien égal. Non, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien, car ma vie